Happy Friday afternoon. Here's Val Bruneau with the 411. We have a topic this week. There was a suggestion. I think as budget season starts to roll in now, we will get more topics. The topic suggestion for this week is MBR. Now, I didn't do a video last week because it was a Board of Education week. I'll try to limit my videos on Board of Education weeks. Anyways, I'm going to share my screen so we can get right to it. Okay, so MBR, this topic that someone wanted to hear about. MBR is minimum budget requirement. And minimum budget requirement is something that the state does through an ED 12. It makes it so that a town cannot take a school budget and reduce it kind of haphazardly. It's kind of a guideline, a baseline that says this is the minimum that you do need to provide to fund your local schools. And that formula, by general rule, says the budget from the year before is the minimum. You absolutely can't decrease it unless you have something catastrophic happen in your community. You had a closure of a school, you had a significant decrease in student enrollment, you had a decrease in ECS dollars. And I'll tell you what ECS dollars is in just one second. Or there's other efficiency measures. And so it says to a town from year to year, that's your base starting point. And you should be looking at a school budget from there moving forward and seeing what their new needs are, their increases, contractual obligations, things of that nature, and building a budget increase from there. This is not new. It's been here since 1975. Here in the town of Andover, the ECS dollars that are given are $2 million. That's what we've been getting, and that's what we can expect to see until 2027 anyways, when that formula is produced again. That is what the state gives the town of Andover to assist in paying for AES's budget and for RAM's budget. Where ECS dollars and MBR go together is that if your town fails to meet MBR, fails to meet that minimum budget requirement, they can punish you by taking away some of those dollars. So that's how the two of them go together. Now, if you want to take a screenshot of this, I also will post it on the website. This is the form. It's kind of a simple form. This is the ED 12. They take, as you can see on the top, our budget from last year. This is the 24-25 MBR. Our budget was 4.2. The second line there is the regional budget, 4.3 at RAM. So, and this is K-12. So they would take our 186 kids at 4.2 and the 128 kids at RAM's 4.3. And then they look and say 8.5 are the educational dollars that were spent in the town of Andover. And they kind of look and say, is this a significant amount, an average amount, or is this the minimum? They go through their formulas here and they say there was at the bottom a deficit of almost 16 kids at RAM. And so they say you could reduce that budget by this amount. And then they say, yes, looking at the two, no other catastrophic changes. We've accounted for the 16 kids lost at RAM. And in the end, then your minimum budget requirement is met. Here in Andover, as a town, the town has always kept that in mind. And so when they looked at budgeting over the past 10 years, you can see in 2015, there were 251 kids here. The budget was 4.3, and it had been reduced from the year earlier because there was a loss of kids. In 2016, you can see there was a loss of students. They'd gone down to 226, and therefore that budget came in at 0. And you can see in 2017, again, with the reduction of the number of students, it was reduced. 2018, it was reduced. 2019, it was reduced. 2020, it was reduced. I arrived in 2020, and we were down to only 175 kids. And so the reductions had taken place, staff had been cut, and they were down to 3.9 million. The following year, despite the fact that we went up to 193 kids, there was a 0% increase that year. And that was a tough one. We did have in 21 some dollars coming in from COVID. And that's kind of how we made it through that year, despite the fact that we had the reduction. But we did still meet MBR that year. In 22, you'll see there was an increase as the student population starts to go up again. 23, 24, and 25. We're back up, as you can see, population-wise, we are back up to almost the same number of students in the building as in 2015. Now, there's a few more of them that are preschool than there were in 2015, although we've had preschool here for 15 years. And you'll see over 10 years with all of the increases to the building, the utilities, the staff, the salaries, it's $244,000. At current levels, we've already met MBR. That's the bare minimum. So looking forward, again, thank you for the topic. Looking forward this year as we go through the budget season, the thing that I would suggest would be that we pay attention to MBR. We look to see what our increases were in terms of number of students in the building. We plan for the future for the 26-27 school year. Thank you. So that's MBR if you're looking to do a little research. And ECS stands for Educational Cost Sharing, that 2 million, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about it. Thank you, and I look forward to having some new topics for next week.